Okay, so hi everyone. Thanks for coming. We're gonna finally call this meeting to order at 7:07. I apologize. And I just need I don't know if some of the people on the board here. Oh, Maureen, you look so cold. Oh my goodness. If we can approve the minutes that were sent out yesterday. So if someone can approve those minutes. Shweta, didn't you send those out?
No, I did not, because I was getting confused
You're
with which meeting I was sending
you're
notes
not
out.
helping me then.
Sorry, because I don't have everybody's email who joined from last general meeting, and I missed a whole lot of meetings in between, so I lost context completely.
Okay, and we're skipping Mr. Price because I don't see him on here. So principal's report will come back to if he jumps on. President's report, I am filling in right now. So bear with me, everyone.
Tell everybody why you're filling in.
We are filling in because we had a brand new addition I lost track of days.
November
Wednesday?
11th. November 11th.
Wednesday, the president, Jennifer Crane, and the vice president, Brian Crane, had their baby boy, Beckett, last Wednesday early morning. So they're having some time off and I am filling in. So bear with me. I will say, though, we have a really busy week with obviously the meeting starting tonight. Tomorrow we have, and Melanie can go into more detail later, so I'm just going to say the dates. Tomorrow's Panera Bread dinner. And then also tomorrow's the last day for pies. Anyone who wants 5th grade pies, feel free to jump on, grab a pie. And then also tomorrow is the first day of the holiday bazaar online shopping, which obviously will look a little bit different this year. Obviously being online and not at the school, but and then Thursday we thought we'd take a break, and and Friday we have the St. Cloud Stars talent show. Again,
Woohoo!
going virtual. So, but that will be more in depth once we get into ways and means. But I just want to run those dates quickly by you guys. Is Sonia on? Do I see her? It is like the Brady Bunch doing Zooms.
It is. Yes, Sonia's
Right?
on.
I'm like looking at the boxes. Hi.
Hi, everyone.
So, really quickly for anyone on here, because this is a general board meeting. So whoever does not know, we have started as of last June, or at the end of the last year, we decided to create a diversity council within the PTA, which is a new branch of the PTA, and we're building it out. And so I will let you run with it as we speak.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm Sonia Martin, Joshua Daniels' mom in 1st grade. As part of my task with the Diversity Council, we wanted to learn more about the Amistad program and how we could implement it at St. Cloud and support our kids, our students, and our faculty. And with that task, it led me into the search in honor of connecting to Dr. Stephanie James Harris, the executive director of the New Jersey Amistad Commission, Division of Department of New Jersey Education. Her primary, as the executive director, she is charged with the responsibility of ensuring that African-American content and contribution and experiences are historically infused and adequately taught in all of the state's classrooms, as well as Mr. Gary Milton Sr. He is the Associate Director of the Executive Office of the New Jersey Education Association. He is tasked with steering racial, social, and economic justice initiatives of the organization, as well as working closely with grievance of the NJEA and the National Association, Education Association. Part of his daily duty, he's been an educator over 20 years, and part of his duties is to staff contact to the NJEA Amistad Stakeholder Group, where he helps to ensure that the Amistad curriculum is implemented in every school in New Jersey. I would like to start and welcome both Mr. Milton and Dr. Stephanie James Harris. Thank you for letting me bug you both. Let me say that. Uh, if you don't mind, we'll have Dr. James Harris go first, speak first, and then Mr. Milton, and we can then take questions from the PTA.
Hi, everybody. And
Good
Sonia, you
evening.
weren't bugging me. I understand, and I appreciate your tenacity. And it's parents like you that are involved like this, and groups like this that really make my job a lot easier, because your interest in making sure and ensuring and being a partnership with your school community is instrumental in making sure that your students are adequately taught, and being interested in what curriculum looks like, and that it is, it is always up to whatever the standards are for the state is always extremely important. So as Sonia said, I am Stephanie James Harris. I'm the Executive Director of the Amistad Commission at the Department of Ed. And the Amistad Law, for those of you who have never heard of it, was actually signed into law as a legal mandate for curriculum infusions in 2002. It's about 18 years in the making. And in actuality, we just had another revision that was just passed unanimously, with some addendums and revisions and some strengthenings of the laws with some monitoring tools actually just yesterday. So that's actually a really wonderful thing in regards of seeing this work become even more fully and intrinsic in the teaching and learning throughout the state of New Jersey. The idea that Afro-American history would be included within the K through 12 curriculum is not a new one. But New Jersey is unique in that it actually created a law that really was very specific and intentional, that this work would be done in a modality of a content area. It would not be something that would segue a uniform or a siloed course in African American history as a graduation requirement, as some other spaces across America are doing, but actually looking at in every instance in which students are learning, thinking about those groups that might be marginalized outside of the story, and then being very intentional about making sure that they are placed back in to our curriculum and instruction. And so that our students have an opportunity to learn about all the varied narratives that have contributed to our history, our writings, our sciences, our architecture, our, all of it, side by side, which seems very logical. And it seems something that we all would want our students to know, but sometimes is met with some difficulty in regards of even curriculum and resources, in regards of even sometimes teachers' comfort level, teachers' knowledge base, in regards of where this material is, how it fits into the greater narrative, what kind of training would be needed to be able, to sometimes train on some of the courageous conversations that come out of these conversations. But even something as simplistic as saying, I've never, taken a course in history. I have no idea, who is missing from this story, because even the textbooks that I had, or the textbooks that are still being supplied to the schools, do not do this level of work very well. And that's just a reality right now of where we are, even in 2020. So the work of the commission has been not only to sort of inform the standards in regards of like historical fact, but also teachers training, curriculum development, instructional development, assisting with sometimes even teaching strategy. fielding all kinds of questions from districts and from students even.
Oh.
Community partnerships. I think that's important. Community partnerships. And most especially, and it's like the second time this week, I said I didn't get a chance to look at Gary's face, because we've second time we've been together, but I think that this community partnership is probably one that is most instrumental to the work, because in order for this to work well, it is not just siloed to the administrations. This is about the teachers. This is about making sure that teachers are equipped with what is necessary and feel comfortable and empowered to be able to teach the American narrative in all its diversities, and equipped to feel comfortable and confident that they are being supported in that work, in whatever modality that means, whether that is in resources, whether that is in instructional, aids, whether that is in, thinking about teaching strategies, whether it is in expanding their own personal experiences so that they can feel wed to the work, or be able to be in locations where they can see the work and feel the work up close. I spent 3 hours today with a group of teachers just on strategies, because they were struggling with how to teach a book. I mean, it varies, but that is the nature of the work right now. And so for the St. Cloud community, I will say that I appreciate the fact that you all are interested in what this is, because what often, sometimes can be the bridge or the barrier is sometimes our parents, right? And so for you all, I think that it's very important that you guys are the bridge, that you're interested in what this means, and really seeing that this work gets done with a lot of intentionality in your school community, because it is being monitored, right? It is now a part of the monitoring structure for state oversight, and just even, making sure that curriculum instruction is sound. And so to make, for you all to be a partner with the school in this process is wonderful. I don't know if you want to ask me questions now, or if you want me to move to Gary.
Let's move to Gary, and then we can field questions to both of you, if you don't mind.
No, fine.
Okay, whenever you're ready, Mr. Milton.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, and hello to Dr. Harris again. We've been connecting now. Dr. Harris, something's about to happen, right? All right. So, as a representative from the New Jersey Education Association, and being in charge of racial, social, and economic justice, and being a classroom teacher for over 20 years in history, and having taught the Amistad curriculum from the moment I was a teacher. I had a degree in Africana Studies, and that kind of just emboldened me as a history teacher to infuse it just naturally, because that's what I was taught coming through. The frustrations of seeing it was not being done throughout my own school, which I was in, really drove me as an educator to say, hey, this is wrong. This is wrong. We must teach an inclusive history, and we cannot exclude things that will make others feel as if they are less. And a lot of times everyone here is going to school at some point. And if I would take a poll about how many times you heard about the true history of the African-American experience in this country, how many classes have you had? How many people have you heard? How many great people have you missed out on because you've only learned about Dr. Martin Luther King, right? Or you've only learned about Dr. King was the good one and Malcolm X was the bad one, as what I was taught when I was coming up through school, right? How many times have you missed out on opportunities to learn about someone else's culture, which would have made you, your family, a more well-rounded individual? We missed out in education. And I'm saying we because I know when I came up through school, I missed out through education. So in in this position that I'm in with the NJEA, one of the first things that I said when I got to the NJEA is we have to do something about Amistad. We have to help. We have to train our own educators who may have never, ever, ever taken a course to even understand how to teach an inclusive curriculum. We have to do something about it. And thank goodness the Amistad Commission had information online, and we looked at it and we said, okay, let's get into this fray. Let us try to connect with the Amistad Commission and let us try to help, because being the largest teachers union in the state, right, and being one of the largest teachers union in the nation, we have an obligation to ensure that all of our educators are prepared in.
Sorry,
Gary,
Gary. Can you unmute yourself? Sorry about that. Technical error, my fault.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. One of the things that is very important for us is to make sure we reach our educators and begin to help them to, number one, understand, number two, to be comfortable enough where they can give the information to their students. And then number three, and the most important thing is to have a connection with parents. And that's why I'm really happy to be on this call under this topic. Because for a child to come home and say, guess what I learned, it's impactful. And as parents, to hear that coming from your child, you know that change is actually occurring. And I truly believe that in the implementation of African-American experience in this country, and even the ancient African experience, as we go back over to Africa, it is so important to the New Jersey Education Association that we get this right. And so I've been saying since our last teachers convention that the New Jersey Education Association has given, or is in the process of giving, I'm not going to say because she don't have the money yet, but has given $75,000 for a Amistad journey. We would like to ultimately take a group of educators every year over into Africa, into Ghana, into Senegal, to have them experience what they're actually going to be teaching from the original, as we call the motherland, and bring it back here and even look at the areas, the Jamestowns and all of the slave trade that happened here, to get a holistic experience and then be able to feel more comfortable in teaching and then elevating. I'm one that says, you know, I understand the slave experience and the horrible atrocities that happened through that. But I also see the victory from that, from where our ancestors, and I'm saying our people, as our ancestors went through such a horrible time. But I'm able to stand here today as in a position where I can make change. And I reflect on that quite often. And it wells me up sometimes to be able to say that we are going to make a change. I'm looking so forward to working more closely with Dr. Harris in this plight. And I'm so honored because this is the first time that I've ever been asked to talk about the Amistad to a Parent Teachers Association. And so I honor you for just being bold enough to take that step forward.
Thank you, Mr. Milton and Dr. Stephanie James Harris. We really appreciate both of your presentations, and just every point that you said is extremely important to the parents of St. Cloud, to have an expanded curriculum, touching on all the points that you mentioned. I'll open it up to everyone to ask some questions, and then we can go from there.
Everyone just, yeah, if you have questions, just unmute yourself and go ahead. Yep.
Hi. I just wondered if you could talk us through like how it works to bring a new curriculum into a school. What is the route that has to take to be done effectively?
So, and I'm not sure, I'm assuming that that you all would, standard practice in regards of a board adoption. So, perhaps even a review by your curriculum team, followed by, looking at resources, what resources will be needed. And let me just back up and say this. The Amistad curriculum is really a shift in the whole discourse and the way in which you're teaching. It is not a package. So it's, and there are some, like you might be able to buy a math curriculum or something that is a packaged kind of thing where you can just kind of say, we're going to make the shift. We buy the textbooks, we buy the resources, we drop it in, we train the teachers, and that becomes, the new folk guide. Something like this, the law is actually speaking to a real redesign for social studies, K through 12. And so it is not something that can be done in one step. It is a consistent intentionality to think about who is missing from the story, which also gives it the opportunity for something that can be very expansive. It is not like a one shot. So, in your, something as simplistic as even on the classroom level, this is not something that is going to require, of course, you want sweeping change, but something as simplistic as your teacher saying the next time they're teaching a book, to think about their book choices, to think about, the visuals in the room, to think about your read alouds, to think about, the resources you use for speeches, your choices, your exemplars when you're trying to make a particular point. The expansion of them to other marginalized groups is actually the beginning of the fulfilling of the law, because what you're doing is with intentionality, thinking about what other narratives could be included to this story to make my students much more well-rounded, to understanding opposing points of view, to understanding, other circumstances, other perspectives, but even a typical curriculum marker that you would standardly see. If you were to do like an oversight, of your entire curriculum, and a lot of districts have done it, they've gone through their curriculum team and they've kind of looked at the map of the individual district, and they have, with intentionality, gone back over the curriculum map, their resources, thinking about what they can add, what lessons can be done, what library resources could be bought, what films could be used, what instructional aids could be done, what lesson plans, what people could be done, auditorium presentations. It's just an across the board, very conscious and conscientious effort. And oftentimes that comes, if there's purchases and things come up to the board or a board adoption, and then the work just kind of continues. So it's not like a one shot. It's more of a movement. And there's a lot of opportunity in that movement, that it's not going to be packaged the same in every district, because every district's expansions are going to look a little different, as it should, right? As it should. I think the idea is that you are working consistently on expanding conversation for kids and including people that would not be in your textbook. I hope that helps.
If I can, and Dr. Harris, thank you so much. If I could just add one thing, that a lot of times when I'm speaking to educators about infusing this into the curriculum, I really have a start easy type thing. And I give an example all the time, especially when I came out of college and I was full of fire, I was going to change the world. One of the things that I said, the simplest thing I started with was the Pledge of Allegiance. And before we said the Pledge of Allegiance, I said, the first person to actually die for the freedom of our country from England was Crispus Attucks. And I showed them a picture. Now, that to you might seem little. It really isn't, because it really set the stage, right? And so I use that example simply because, like Dr. Harris said, everyone thinks grand, like you're waiting for this big plume to have just happened. It is incremental. It is in the heart of the parents and the teachers who desire for it to happen. And if it's in your heart to desire for it to happen, you will find things to infuse. You will find resources that you want to use. Just like any good teacher in this world who is passionate about teaching something that they're doing, they will find the resources that they need in order to do so. As the NJEA, we are trying to help in the fact that we can get resources, right? We've met with textbook companies already and trying to make sure that textbooks are actually changing how they infuse history into the textbooks. And so we're very excited about some of the work we're doing with some of the textbook companies. We're excited to be working with a lot of the EPP, the education preparation folks who are helping our educators who are coming through college right now and telling them, you must have a component on inclusivity and equity in how you're teaching these new folks who are coming into the teaching profession. We cannot do it the same way. We have to be able to broaden our horizons and understand that we are a country that is diverse and that diversity is our strength. And so the Amistad is very instrumental in that, obviously. And, you know, I always say that African-American history is American history. Dr. Harris, I hear her say that quite often herself, that it is American history. We need to treat it as such.
Mr. Milton, you touched on training. I know we had a diversity council meeting a couple of weeks ago, and our teachers, our school teachers were a part of that meeting, and they want to, you know, they want to develop, like you said, an inclusive curriculum, and they need to understand the history in order to do that and have like a cohesive way to teach it to the kids. Is there support that you could provide to our principal and to our teachers to educate them more on how to execute, you know, Amistad curriculum?
Yes, and let me say this. To come in, and I'm just going to be very blunt with you. For me to come in with my folk and say, hey, we got a bunch of books here, and this is how you infuse it. There are some steps that we may have to do between, and a lot of districts. I'm begging districts for you to actually do an equity assessment of your school system. Where are you needing? Where are you short at? Where do you see the problems? Because let's face it, we're all human. We have people that are coming into schools with some biases that they haven't dealt with, right? And to think that we're going to give them this curriculum and they're going to look at it and say, oh yes, I bought in the whole way. That's not always true all the time. That's a utopic thinking, right? And so what I really say all the time is that we have to come in and let's talk about the biases first. Let's get that out in the open and out of the way so that now we can really get down to educating our children. You know, it's hard to really get someone to understand that that civilization began, right, in Africa. Now, people are going to, whoo, what? No, yes, you know, let's deal with that. And let's see how it spread. Let's see how Pangea, if you teach that, let's see how that spread out into all of the world. Let's talk about that. And if you have people that don't believe that, if you don't believe the beginning, how are you going to teach the end and the middle? You're not. And so I really feel as if, as we come in, and the NJEA has offered all sorts of, through the teachers union of your local, have offered all sorts of trainings where we send people, and it doesn't cost you a dime, especially if you call me. But it doesn't cost you a dime to have me bring my folk in to give these trainings to really set the stage for this to happen. As Dr. Harris said, if you think we're coming in with this pre-done plan and saying, here, it works, it's not. It's sometimes it's a matter of heart, and it's legacy work, right? It really is legacy work. And so we have to build the foundation so that all of our educators can understand why this inclusivity is very important.
And I will just say that I wear both hats. I'm actually an African-American historian. That's actually what my PhD is in. And so a lot of my trainings and curriculum work, and we actually have an institute for teachers, is in the history and the content. So our office constantly, I mean, that's what I was doing today with a group of teachers in other school districts. I do the content sort of deep dive in a lot of instances, because I do understand, unfortunately, we're still in a space where pre-service programs, a lot of them, most especially because of the reality of how many courses they have to get in before they can even, do any kind of student teaching, has not left a lot of room for any students to take courses in African-American history, even if they're going to be certified to teach history in the States, which actually makes no sense because at this point, we now have a mandate that is going to require them to be able to teach this when they enter the classroom. So it is just, when you say it, it sounds just as ridiculous as saying, I need to, certify science teachers, but we've never let anybody take chemistry, right? It's just, that's where we're at right now. As ridiculous as that. So as we're trying to work and manifest the changes and to help pre-service programs understand the complexities of what they're preparing teachers to do, we have been offering sort of the bridge and doing a lot of those historic kind of content deep dives with teachers. Our web-based curriculum resource that we have provided for schools, which is free, is a history textbook. It is actually where we have spent the time trying to create the resources that can be pushed into all of the 57 plus New Jersey history textbooks in circulation, so that they do understand, even if it's an example, what model curriculum would look like. So if there's a need for the district, and mine is, we of course are funded by the Department of Ed, so it is free for us to come in and do that. And and we can do it on topic, we can do it on a broad base, we can do a deep dive, we can just kind of do, we can do an audit to kind of look at your curriculum map and kind of help you, think about what's missing. We have done, I don't believe in bringing a stick without a helping hand first. That's silly. And so we don't want to talk about this being a law without doing some assistance, because we understand that this is new territory for a lot of teachers. And so I don't ever want to get to a place where we are having teachers feel that we are being punitive with them about what they have not taught, without making sure that we are assisting them in getting very comfortable in how to teach it and giving them the resources to be able to do it well. I'm available. That's basically, whatever you need.
Does anyone else have any additional questions for Dr. Stephanie James Harris and Mr. Milton?
I think this was a great
Hi,
presentation. Go ahead. I'm
There's
sorry.
someone else.
Oh, you go.
sorry, this is Lanithia. Thank you so much, Dr. Harrison, Mr. Milton, for your time tonight. I do have one question, and maybe both of you can speak to a little bit. In terms of the teacher training, I know you both just spoke on the options of, not having it like as they're coming through college and things like that. But is it in any sort of way available to tie it to like when they're, getting their licensing or anything like that? Is it sort of, an option available to tie it in? So the first time they see it is not when they're in the classroom, but they are sort of preempted before they even enter a classroom?
I can just say that there's been a number of pieces of legislation that was trying to shift the licensure, because we understood that if the licensure changed in regards of even what was required in regards of coursework submissions for licensure, then you're going to see the teachers program kind of follow suit, because they're going to know that, you all of a sudden you're going to have this like backlog of teachers that are not able to be certified without taking this coursework. The issue really is, that has not passed. And some of it is the economic factors in regards of what that would mean for the student. It really would expand, it's almost like, you've got, I don't know, is it 12 semesters of student teaching to get teachers prepared. If you start, the question is, what can you take away? What do you add? What do you expand? How do you, maybe it's not adding a whole course, but maybe it's, figuring out constructively for the university, whether or not it's an either or course or something to that effect. But there has to be something that does that, Ms. Jones, we know that, because that is the problem. We find too many teachers are seeing it and encountering it the first time when they enter the classroom. And it is unfair to them that we have not properly prepared them to do so, because it's almost backwards. It's almost backwards. But for a student that might be there that can't afford a whole nother semester to add a course, that's the response I've gotten from a lot of the pre-service programs. And now you have some of them that are willing to figure out what they can do, creatively. But it has not been uniformly done across the universities. And we're the only, maybe I should say this first, because this will make a lot of sense as to why the difficulty is. We're still the only state in the nation that's doing this. So we're the first state in the nation, we're the only state in the nation. So this is not a nationally uniform sort of policy. So you haven't seen, so having students coming from Pennsylvania, that this is like totally outside of their purview of something that they would even be worried about in a Pennsylvania college or a Maryland college or a California college. It's not even a part of the law structure yet. The only place that we've really been able to work on any of these kind of conversations with New Jersey colleges. But we all know that we've got teachers coming from all over the nation.
I saw a couple people joining if they want to ask a question.
I know we have a few people joining. If nobody else has any questions, I want to thank you guys very much. This was definitely enlightening with a lot of information. I know Mr. Price actually attended the October meeting with David and in the diversity. So I know he's working to try to improve the diversity professional development with the teachers. So it is an ongoing process, but I know Mr. Price is working with the teachers to do that. Sonia, do you have any other updates?
Well, I just wanted to add, thank you both for joining us and enlightening us, but most importantly, for the important work that you are doing. I know from the Diversity Council, this is just the first of many conversations that we hope to have with you guys. And we will tie our principal, Mr. Price, in. So we can hopefully like the next step in the process. But thank you again.
Thank you.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Anytime. Anytime.
Thank you. Anytime. Please let me know if there's anything else I can do for you.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
I know with the Diversity Council as well, we've been doing, there's going to be a logo. Do you want to talk about that a little, Sonia? Or
yeah. I heard a background noise. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry. So I know that, or I can just quickly talk about the Diversity Council is trying to do a logo. So we're actually asking if everyone can just throw their thing on mute too right now. That'd be great. Okay. Doing a logo contest. So we're actually going to start launching next week. The kids can input artwork for the diversity logo, and we'll pick a winner the week after. The Diversity Council is also working with cultural arts liaisons to launch Black Lives Matter Week at St. Cloud in February. And just Sonia, do you want to talk about their meetings and when you guys meet besides PTA meetings?
I'm sorry. Our next meeting would be, well, I don't know. It hasn't been scheduled. Normally it is at the around 27th Tuesday. Tuesdays at the end of the month.
I think it just came out for Tuesday, the 24th at 7.
Okay. I didn't. Okay. That must have just
like
been
literally minutes ago, Sonia. So perfect timing.
No, forgive me.
All good. I'll put it in the notes over here.
All right. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, if not, we're moving to Bill. You're up.
Okay.
Tell me we've got lots of stuff.
Now it's going to be a pretty quick report because not much has been going on. Just as I said last time, luckily from prior years, we have money in the bank. We still have over $20,000. Most of the activity in the past month really has been 5th grade fundraising. Fifth grade photos, as I discussed with Amy, was a shortfall, but that was to be expected at about $690. but the plant sale was very successful, and that showed a profit about $475. And there was a fifth grade raffle of 150. And then trunk or treat in the past, this is a giveaway, not expected to make money. We had budgeted probably about $250 to $300. We received about $90 in revenue from the donut sale, and the outlays were about $481. But again, given sort of the totality of everything based on the money in the bank, we're just not doing a lot compared to last year. We're not doing a whole lot of fundraising, but we're also not giving out a lot just because were caught in this virtual framework. I mean, we did give, as I mentioned the last time, that water fountain, adapter so you could fill up water bottles, probably not being used by too many people since we're not there. But we have donated different, minor things to different causes that we deemed, good. $100 amount to a charity, and then we gave the $5 gift cards. But absent that, there's not much going on. The good news is on the PTA memberships were about $1,900, and we had budgeted 2,000, so we're close. I actually thought we were going to do a lot worse, and hopefully we'll continue to push along and get a little bit more than that. But I mean, the good news is that we have money in the bank. The bad news is there's not a lot of activity sort of on the fundraising, but even on the giveaways compared to prior years, we're really slow.
Okay.
So I don't know if anybody has any questions, but Panera Bread is tomorrow, which I plan on attending or doing.
You can order online, so you don't have to go in. But yes.
Put that in the notes.
Yeah. Thank you,
There
Bill.
you go.
Shweta, did you have anything with Secretary's report?
Nope.
You're good. Okay. All right. We are at Ways and Means. Melanie.
Ways and means. All
I
right.
gave
So
a brief summary at the beginning of this, but there you go.
yes, you did. And this is a true PTA effort. This is not solely my party here. We have leaned heavily on Amy. We have leaned heavily on Holly and Sarah in cultural arts. So thank you tremendously to everyone. Trunk or Treat, as Bill mentioned, happened last month, and it was really well received. So thank you to those who attended, who respected all of the social distancing restrictions that we had in place. I know not everybody could attend that wanted to, but it was a really heartwarming event for the community. So thank you for that. And I'm glad we got that in before things started getting worse, pandemic-wise. So terrific there. We've got a lot of things coming up as we posted on Monday. This is the PTA Week of Awesomeness. We have this meeting tonight, and then we'll go into the Panera Family Night tomorrow, November 18th from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Feel free to swing by our West Orange Panera, or you can order online, and you must use the code PRFUND for St. Cloud Elementary to get credit for your purchases. There's also a flyer that's been emailed around. It's on our Facebook page. We posted it to Instagram. So you can also bring that flyer or show that flyer when you go in person to make your orders. But yes, please save room for some good eats tomorrow night, and we'll benefit the school. We get 20% of the purchases that night.
Oh, awesome.
So there is that. And then we have our holiday bazaar, which is always a fun time this time of year. We're starting it a little bit earlier because it is virtual, and we're doing online sales. And so hopefully you can still shop safely and have some fun and get all your goodies before the holiday season. Let me just admit this.
During that holiday bazaar, I mean, if you don't want to shop, that's okay. We still have raffle prizes. So go online and this is going to be really weird, but go online and order your raffle tickets. I have the whole roll of raffle tickets here at my house, and we're going to have to do it that way. And
We'll get her done. We'll
Yeah.
get her done. We've got great vendors. It's a wide variety. We have our friends at Cycle Bar joining us. We've got Stella and Dot. We've got the Peasant Bakers. Patsy's is throwing in a great gift certificate for our raffle. So it's a good variety, and it's local vendors. So we are supporting local businesses. So we're trying to
go?
say that again.
Till when does it go, the holiday?
It goes until December 5th. So it launches tomorrow and goes through December 5th.
So people can buy raffle tickets all the way starting tomorrow, all the way through December 5th, and then we'll pick the winners December 5th.
Or maybe December 6th.
Yeah.
Let's give them till the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it should be good. Lots of fun things that you could win. And of course, the Oliver family has donated Red Bull swag. So we've got that in there as well.
There's Red Bull swag, two Red Bulls gift baskets, and unfortunately no tickets because nobody knows.
Right.
There's also NYCFC gear, but you know, we have other family. Is it family trivia night, Holly? I think, or their family game night.
There's
basket.
a family game night package. Yep. And that includes a bottle of wine for the parents, because sometimes you need a little liquid courage to play board games with your kids.
And then all the vendors are putting in raffle prizes as well. So, but if you guys, if anybody has a vendor that they want to add in, or if they have a friend or a business that they know of or a part of that want to donate a raffle prize, please let me know. It's not too late to add them in, and make the pot even greater.
Exactly. And another fun element that we are bringing into this year's virtual event, for those who attended last year, we had our Jolly Gentleman in Red up on the stage taking pictures with kids. Well, we are converting that to a digital experience as well. So if you would like our Jolly Gentleman in Red to say a personal message to someone special in your life, you can purchase a personalized video greeting from our lovely festive fellow for only $4. So that's another fun thing that we can do, and we'll get that out to you in time for the holidays as well. So that's the holiday bazaar. Does anybody have any questions? Say that again, Amy.
I said it's all online on our holiday website that will launch tomorrow morning.
We will promote this specific URL tomorrow when we are ready, but it should be tomorrow morning. But more to be shared there as soon as it launches. But thank you in advance for your support on the holiday bazaar. All right, so that's Wednesday. Like Amy said, we'll breathe on Thursday, but those of us in the PTA won't, because we'll be doing a tech rehearsal for St. Cloud Stars, which is going to be on Friday, November 20th at 7 o'clock. We have over 20 wonderful performance submissions, plus a whole bunch of beautiful art that our children have submitted. It's going to be a tremendously heartwarming event. We've got Mrs. Lorenz, Mr. Price.
Talent.
Say that again, Amy.
There's some good music talent in there too.
There is. St. Cloud's got talent. We knew this, but it's fun that we're able to still bring this. And Sarah and Holly, please chime in with any additional details you want to share. But we've got live MCs. You guys will get to meet our Vice President-elect, Brian Crane. He's going to take a break from dad duties, and he's going to join us for this event as well. So it should be a lot of fun. Tickets are on sale. This will be a Zoom event, and we're trying to keep it private. So you got to purchase a ticket to get access to the Zoom. It's only $5 per household. So that's it. $5. Whole family can enjoy a really well-rounded evening of entertainment. Feel free to invite your grandparents, invite your neighbors to participate so they can see little Jimmy do his thing. So that is Friday the 20th. And then we are also doing a coat drive. And I'm going to turn this over to Holly if you want to explain a little bit more about that.
Cultural arts.
Thanks, Mel. So I'll let Sarah sort of recap what we've been working with on the cultural arts, but to segue with the coat drive, we've partnered with Jersey Cares, which is a nonprofit organization over in Livingston that collects new and lightly worn coats. We are going to be sort of running this fast and furiously, because why not? So just to give everyone sort of an idea about it, we're going to be running it the same time Amy's going to be doing pie pickup at St. Cloud, we're going to run the coat drive that first day, which is Tuesday, November 24th. Then we're going to take a break over the holidays, and then we're going to run it for very specific hours the first week of December. So it'll be December 1st through December 5th. And it's like 2-hour segments every day, but we do need volunteers to man those stations. So we will post that. There'll be a sign up genius, I'm assuming, on the PTA website. And I did get Mr. Price okayed all the dates that I had given. So if we get enough volunteers, great. But if we don't, then we will not have a volunteer there to man the station. So it is going to be a little prescriptive about when you do drop off coats, but we would encourage everyone to really help out however they can. And like I said, they can be lightly worn as well. So I know my son goes through a coat a year. So if we can, pass those on to this, that would be awesome. And we're going to do it actually with the student council as well. So hoping that they will be able to sort of drum up some excitement about it. So that is good. We're also partnering, as Melanie mentioned, we are partnering with the Diversity Council and Denise. I don't know how to say Denise's last name, and I probably should, I apologize. But she is sort of spearheading that from the Diversity Council. So Sarah and I will be working with her. I think we have a meeting Wednesday night on top of Panera. We'll be meeting to talk about that. To talk about how to sort of kick off the Black Lives Matter week. And then we've also, Caroline Harris is kind of working with Sarah and myself. Caroline will be representing the Diversity Council and with the cultural arts to try and figure out how we can get some, make sure that some of the assemblies that we're providing and or other events that we're doing just sort of really reach the broader audience and sort of just make sure that we're reflecting the awesomeness that St. Cloud is. So Caroline's going to work really hard with us to do that. But Sarah, why don't you give an update on the our awesome assembly that we already had?
Yeah, the Mad Science on the Friday before Halloween was a big hit, I think. I even heard from a Gregory school parent asking how to get in touch with them. So I guess news traveled, which is a good sign. And other assemblies we're talking about are bringing an author in for March, because we were talking about doing a readathon for March, and to work in conjunction with that. And then we'll see how the year goes. We might have enough funds for possibly one more assembly after that in the spring.
Great. Does anybody
There's
on the
a few
phone?
other, sorry, there's a few
Oh,
other
yeah.
fun ideas we've got sort of, floating around, but I think I'm a little nervous to just share them until I get a break from all the craziness of this week.
Awesome week.
Melanie, I have a question.
Yes.
How are ticket sales looking for the
They are looking
talent show?
healthy. We could
Oh, good.
always sell more. But I checked orders this morning. I did not actually count them, but we've got quite a few. So I think we'll have a nice crowd.
Oh, great.
One thing I just want to share, since this is a general PTA meeting, there's a lot of new names and faces on here and a good group. Kind of to go with that is everything that we're doing is, yes, a St. Cloud PTA driven event or fundraiser, but I know with the 5th grade committee, I am constantly saying, don't forget to tell your friends, family, and neighbors, because anyone can buy a pie, anyone can buy a ticket to the Zoom, anyone can donate a coat. It doesn't need to be just the Brady Bunch here. It can be your next door neighbor or your sister or aunt or whoever, to try to help and encourage more involvement. And I just wanted to make that a little bit more clear for people. But go ahead, Mel. Sorry. Does anyone have any questions about the talent show for Friday? Because I know there
Amy,
was some, yeah.
Hi everyone. I just have a general comment.
Yeah.
I went to buy my for the talent show and place an order for the pie. And so the emails we get, they're not like hyperlinked. I think it would make it much easier for parents, other people, if somehow the PDF could say click here and it's a hyperlink. So we could just press, you gotta take the email. You can't even copy it because it's a PDF. You gotta actually copy it down a piece of paper and then go search for it. I just think to make everybody's life a little easier, there was like a click here and they just press the button and it went
There
straight to the.
usually is, Diane, like
Yeah.
above the images that we feature. But we
Yeah.
can look into that
Check
and
it.
try to make sure that the PDFs are hyperlinked as well.
Yeah, so we can send it out to our family members. I sent it out to Michaela's grandmother, and she's like, I can't figure this out. And, I just pressed and so, like now, just to make it friends and families.
Okay. We'll double check it, but yeah, we thought it had links on it, but we'll double check it and make sure for the future ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay, so is everyone okay to move on? No questions about Ways and Means or cultural arts? I know we kind of like merged those a little bit, but
There's just one show, right? There's no 19.
Just one show.
Yep.
One stupendous show. We were able to make sure that we could fit it all in a reasonable amount of time. The show length should be right around an hour, maybe a couple minutes beyond if our MCs get really chatty and fun. But that's what we're aiming for.
And Mr. Price has been given his joke.
Mr. Price is going to tell jokes again. Maybe there'll be new ones. We're hoping, but he's gearing up for it.
Don't count them down yet. Sorry, don't count them down yet. Okay, we're gonna go to 5th grade committee. There's myself and Natalie somewhere. I'm like looking. Oh, okay, sorry. I might age myself, but does anyone else feel like Hollywood Squares too?
Yes.
I mean,
but the squares are moving, so you
Oh my
constantly have to be like, okay, where'd that person go? As new people join, it's like, it's fun.
Natalie, feel free to jump in. You want to talk about the plants sale at all or anything, or what we have moving forward?
You can start with the pie sale. Go ahead.
I checked this morning. The pie sales, we were at 65 pies sold. So the 5th grade, because obviously we have to pay for the pies and whatnot, we've generated about $380-ish for money for the 5th grade, which is great. We still have one more day to go. So last call. I do have to say though, we donated pies and we will deliver those on Monday to the food pantry. We did a great job on that because we were at only like 10, and then we did kind of like a little push on Friday, and those sales ended for the donating pies Sunday. So we got up to 22 pies to donate to the food pantry. So great job on the small little push at the end there. But yeah, one more day. And you can do apple, pumpkin, pecan, banana, cream, and coconuts, I believe. And then we did a fall plant sale as well, which you guys saw, Mums, which we did fairly well with that. And then after the pie sale, we were trying to do wreaths. We're not sure if we're doing the wreaths.
Yeah, we're trying to do some sort of holiday plant sale with either wreaths or poinsettias. So more to come on that. To get that set up for right after Thanksgiving, for early December to start. And I think in January we have
we are doing the Patsy's pizza pie kit. So when you don't feel like cooking anymore, you can go grab, well, you still have to cook the pizza, but it's kind of fun. That will be in January. So that's about it for 5th grade. Do we
have a question?
Yes.
Amy, is there an option to, you know how like we can just give to the PTA? Is there an option to just give to the 5th grade committee?
I like that idea. We should make that button.
Yeah. I think we should push the button.
There's
Let
a
it-
No
button,
hassle fifth
and I can
grade.
add a
Yeah,
No
that's
hassle
exactly
fifth
what I was
designate.
saying. Yeah.
I like it. We will be on that and have it for tomorrow.
I'll be at Panera as well, but other things, I think, sometimes people, just get busy and they, want to,
Yeah,
contribute.
absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, and just so everybody knows, and parents are like, why so much on the fifth grade? The fifth grade has to pay for graduation stuff, fifth grade t-shirts, the yearbook. So there's a lot of expenses, especially towards the end of the year. So that is why we're constantly doing this. But
So whatever the last year dance thing that was happening, the deposit, that's not happening anymore, I'm presuming.
oh, the powerhouse.
Yes.
So for everybody here, last year's fifth grade never had their end of the year party, which we may not either. I don't know. But that's always held at Powerhouse up in East Hanover or Whippany area. That deposit from last year's fifth grade carries over to our fifth grade. So we don't have to spend that money. So that deposit's already in at Powerhouse. But it's kind of a wait and see game too, because we don't know if we're doing it. The fifth grade committee did say that if we couldn't get into Powerhouse or it's not safe or whatever it may be, trying to figure out if we can do something on Stag Field for the kids for an end of the year gathering there.
I think outdoor,
yeah.
a dance floor.
Yeah. So
bring the house down.
The fun times of 2020 carrying over into 2021. Okay. Spirit wear. Do we have anyone on for spirit wear? I thought I saw Marlo at one point. Did she jump off?
She did have to jump off, but she did want us to know that Mod Studio is going to be participating in the Holiday Bazaar as well. And they're going to have masks, fleece blankets, teddy bears.
Ooh, awesome.
And they will all have the St. Cloud logo. So support your school, show your pride, get some cool stuff.
Perfect. Spirit wear too, those buttons, it's no hassle, but you can always go and get St. Cloud Strong lawn sign t-shirts or any other sweatshirts that we may have on there. So, but that is great news about Maud, because I know we're waiting to hear from her on that.
And we love their stuff. They did all the cool camo and tie-dye and glitter things last year. So good vendor.
And now I'm looking around again. Jessica's got communications, and Matt, hi you guys. Do you guys have anything to report?
I do not. Special thanks to Melanie for helping out with communications, especially in the last few days, and getting all the flyers and all of that together. Just continue to, check the website, the Facebook, and our emails. If you know anyone who's not getting our emails, but would love to, definitely send us and just drop us a line, and we'll make sure that they're added to the distribution list. And also, if you're not getting the text messages, but are getting our emails but not our text messages, also let us know, because you have to opt into that by providing your cell phone number. I don't know if Matt has anything to add.
Perfect. All right, we have Aaron on here for ASP. I know it's kind of a mute point for this semester here, this marking period, but Aaron, I don't know if you have anything you want to mention.
Hey, sorry, took me a minute to get off of mute and on camera. No updates okay. Still from ASP.
Okay. Just a quick thing before we get to memberships. Ernestine always does box tops. Just a reminder to everybody that box tops is still available. I know it's only like 10 cents here, 10 cents there, but if you go grocery shopping to like scan your receipt for the box tops, because I know a lot of it is virtual, we're going to send out a reminder, but just something always just to keep top of mind, because it does add up along the way with everybody's kind of doing it here and there. So. Right.
And as you're shopping for holiday dinners or going to Costco and buying bulk, scan those receipts.
The other thing is, which they make automatic deposits, is the Smile program.
Oh,
And I know
we were
some
going to do
people
a
are
flyer
doing,
for that. Yeah.
and the more people that, again, I have not figured it out, but I'm a moron when it comes to technology. But it just comes automatically into the account. And at first I didn't know what it was, but 1 month was $50. And not that that's a lot of money, but if we can really generate people to attach their Prime or their Amazon
Yep.
to Smile with St. Cloud, and they're not doing it to any others, it really is just found money.
Yeah, so we talked about the board meeting last week of kind of, especially since everyone's starting to do a lot of holiday shopping now, doing kind of like a plug of remember your box tops, remember the Amazon Smile, so that if you are logging on to click that so that St. Cloud is getting credit. We are going to do a flyer to remind everyone after this awesome week. Okay, memberships. Looking around my.
I'm here. Thelma's here.
There you go. like
Hi,
looking.
everyone. Thank you for joining us this Thursday. As I'm sure you all are, as I am in awe of everything that the PTA is doing with everything else that's going on. So kudos to everyone who's been involved. Definitely great things going on. As you know, all of that's not free, right? So we can only do that with all of your with your membership fees and funds. So thank you to everyone who's been able to sign up. If you haven't signed up, I ask you to please do so we can put on even more awesome programming. So far this fiscal year, we have 201 active members. That is
awesome.
20 more than we had all of last year. So we're definitely on a roll with that. If you know your friends and family members and other community members who haven't yet signed up, please ask them to do so, because that's how we're able to fund all these wonderful things. And also, as you all know, we just completed our first ever membership contest, which was very successful. We were able to get approximately 50 new memberships as a result of that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. 3 winning classes were Miss Lorenz, Miss DeRosa, and Miss Cairns. And they all got t-shirts as well as gift cards to Dunkin' Donuts. And I believe they're also going to have a party to celebrate, I think, in their classes. So we're thinking maybe next year we might do the same due to the success. So thank you all. If you know anyone who hasn't signed up, definitely encourage them to do so. And that's all I have.
Does it count having a pajama party if people are already in their pajamas every day anyway? Or
Yes.
Maybe they get dressed up for this one. Maybe that's a reason to get dressed up. I don't know. But that's all I have.
One thing, last year, I think around the holidays, we'd done a Giving Tuesday or something on Facebook. Do we plan to do that this year?
We certainly could. It would not hurt.
we did do that. Jessica, do you remember when you helped head that? What's that Tuesday? What's the date on that?
It's always the Tuesday
after.
It's the first Tuesday in December, so after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So the first this year.
Okay.
So I just need to go back and double check if we want to use our Fundraise Up platform or the Facebook. It's so hard to get those matching funds. Like, I don't know any organization that's gotten the matching funds through Facebook. So since we already have Fundraise Up, it might make sense to do that. But I can go and actually Fundraise Up doesn't charge. I mean, Facebook doesn't charge fees for it. So we can figure out which one will be best to use.
Okay.
But yeah, we should definitely take advantage of it.
Perfect. Shweta, I'm putting you in charge of that.
Sure.
You
know I love money, right?
Yep. Okay. I lost my agenda because Mr. Price was texting saying he apologized for missing the meeting. Okay. I mean, The only other thing I had was basically all the dates Jen had given us and put on the agenda, but we had covered obviously multiple times during this meeting of all the craziness going on this week. So definitely pick a night, pick every night, because we've got something this week, and join in. But does anybody have any questions or ideas?
I have another one. Hey, Amy.
Go for it, Diane.
Will you guys ever think about like the teachers sending out like the Panera Night in Classroom Dojo? We all get it as a parent, and it's a quick reminder because I think sometimes parents, look at Classroom Dojo.
Yeah.
So to try to get teachers involved, send it out as a reminder, and maybe somehow like share a family picture, enjoying your Panera, enjoying your holiday pie.
So we usually, we usually do, Melanie and I know, we try to do the pictures of, Panera or whatever else, or first day of school shared on social media that way. I don't know. So we send the stuff to Mr. Price and to Miss Williams and some of the teachers. And I know for and everyone can speak up and tell me, but I know for some of Casey's 5th grade teachers, they're posting it. So it says something about the pies on 5th grade stuff. With Logan, so I think it kind of varies.
But Mr. Price should push it for all the teachers. I wanted personally Mrs. Somkowski's class to win for the membership. So I'm like, but I'm not class parent, so I don't have the emails, because I'm like, come on, let me drive this class. Like if the teachers push it, like remind your parents, a little nudge from the kids, and parents are like, kids are like, sign up. I love a competition.
You know what? So you did just bring up a good point, Diane, though, is maybe utilizing the class parents a little bit more. And I don't think maybe we have as much this year because the class parents aren't being used necessarily how they used to be used right now. So maybe we can lean on them a little bit more.
And it was about a petition. So we need to like involve the class parents for positive things.
Wait, what?
We'll have to talk offline about that, Diane.
Tell you offline.
Okay.
I have not heard from our class parents at all. So is there like class parents sending stuff?
So teachers, so I mean, just so everybody on here knows, teachers have been assigned class parents. Every class actually ended up having one except for the 5th grade, and the 5th grade committee is kind of serving as theirs anyway. So every class has them. The teachers are working with those parents. What they are doing though, once the PTA puts the parents in with the teachers, it's kind of between them now. It's not on the PTA anymore. I mean, we can check in with them, but it's more like how the teachers wanted to utilize them. But every teacher has class parents. Yeah.
I'm a class parent, and one of the things that when we had a meeting with Price, that they said they didn't want to use Dojo for PTA stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if that was specifically class parent stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, I think teachers kind of individual, because I know like on Casey's, like I said, 5th grade, like Mr. Frank and Zula were putting in like the pies and stuff. So I think it maybe depends on the teacher and like where they're putting it. It might be in their classroom, or they might not be doing it at all. Yeah. I think it just
Diane, varies. Why don't we do it for the JCC as we're picking up?
Yeah, I can remind the JCC St. Cloud parents through my program.
Livingston too.
This year, but I'm a big St. Cloud, so whatever I could think of to help the PTA, and I got my pies. Paula's ordering pies, and so if I can nudge something into that, and maybe put on the JCC website to help out.
Awesome.
Okay. Does anyone else have any other questions for anything? Everybody's good? Okay, we are going to call this meeting to adjourn this meeting. Sorry, we're not starting over.
8:21.
All right, everyone. 8:21. We're calling this meeting. Thank you, guys.